Hello everyone, in this tutorial, I'll be showing how to quickly use the timer node.
Houston, we have a problem.
About that, connect it. And we'll just go ahead and we'll good about that. Main on flash timer timeout, sensible name, Godot's always good about that. Connect it. And we'll just go ahead and we'll expand this and make it print debug. And we'll just say timer timeout. Let's just illustrate that our timer is working. All right. 1 second has passed, I think. Nothing happened. Huh, that's odd. Why is that? Let's click our flash timer. Oh, remember? Auto start. We need to click it. Sorry for that fake out. I know that didn't work and why it didn't. But now we see every second timer timeout is getting printed to debugger down here. Great, we know it's working. Now let's make it do something interesting. We've got our icon. That's our little buddy. And there's a visible property. That returns a Boolean. So we can say if our icon's visible, we'll hide it. Else, icon.show. Go back and now every time the timer goes, it flashes our image. That's kind of useful. Let's go ahead and make it even faster. That's cool about Godot is it just automatically does that. I'll change it back to 1 second. Let's make it one shot and run it. You'll see our icon show and then high, and it won't come back because it ran the timer just one time. Let's turn that off though, because we want that to happen. Let's now do a couple of other things. In our process, callback, let's go ahead and see what our flash timer's properties are. So there is a time left property, print, debug, we'll print debug that. Print debug's just an easy way to put output down below while you're exploring things, checking them out. There's other ways to go about debugging, but I think for screencasts and these purposes, it gives us a good sense of what's there. So, the value down here that's changing rapidly is time left, and then wait time is the length of the timer. So if we make this 10 and change it, now it's 10, the wait time, and the value that's ever decreasing is the timer. Now print debug is useful for just showing that, but let's go ahead and get rid of that, save it. We got a pass so it doesn't yell at us. And then let's add a label. And we'll call that label time remaining. In process, every frame we'll set time remaining's text to our flash timer.time left. This value though needs to be a string because text is a string. So we can just go ahead and this is a simple way to say, replace this value in the string with whatever this value is. And since this value is a float, it'll cast it accordingly and display it. So we can see up here, time remaining is rendered. And we've got all these text values because it's a float and all these decimals. Let's go ahead and make this a little nicer. We'll add placeholder text here and remaining, or, we'll just put some stuff here so we can see what that looks like. And we'll drag it above here. We'll then take it and go back to our script. And there might be a round, I don't know. Let's go and see. If we look at float, is there a round function? That would be nice. I don't see one. Let's see, round. Round x to the nearest whole number. Which is not what we want, but I saw a round f. Round f. I do. It's kind of close. Round f. We'll just keep it simple. What do we want? Let's see what happens. Alright, that makes it a whole number. Alright, that makes it a whole number. That's kind of nice. Maybe you want it to be more hectic, but I think that works for us for now. 10 seconds is kind of long, so we'll go ahead and change our timer back. Now, how could we reset the timer when we press an action? Like maybe we want to reset it and toggle it. We could say func input on the input callback. We could say if event.isAction pressed. We'll just do UI accept, which is spacebar. And we can actually say time flash timer. And there is I think we can just call start. And that will restart the timer. So it's counting down. I press pressed it again, it restarted it. That's great. Well, what if we go ahead and put this into toggle icon visibility?
We first need to open up a new script. If you don't already have one, we can delete what's in it. We need to create a timer node. I prefer to use physics. It's more reliable. The wait time is set to 1 second, and you can obviously set that to any time. If you would like to auto start it, you can press auto start here. Or in your ready function, you can do timer if you reference the timer or whatever you named it, dot start. And this will also auto start it. Next, if we want to know when it stops, we just do timeout, connect it to your script, and we can run your code for when it stops. We press play, and if we wait 1 second, timer stopped. Now it is set to repeat. In order to stop this, we need to do one shot. This will run it once, and it will not run again. However, if you do want it to start again, simply reference this code right here, and it will restart it. Hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. If you have any questions,
I got no hustle, but I stay on a mission. I got some blood on my wrist, say fuck it. I tell my net, what the fuck is you brush? I plug up my head, shorty, fuck up a caution. Got a time where I go around, you better. Got a time where I go around, you better stop. Said I'm done with the hoe, but I'm just being honest. I'm done with myself, I'm not going no monster. I'm done with the hustle, and I don't want no option. Got a Glock on my head, but I'm shooting with action. Glock on my head, but I'm shooting with passion. Shit, I got a Glock and I just a bit fashion. Look at this shorty, I'm done with the accent. Look at this shorty, I'm done with the accent. My brother said he gon' shoot with passion. When I shoot it, I'ma shoot to subtract. The same on buckets on my fucking. The same on buckets on my fucking nighttime. Always just shit like he motherfucking Batman. Never lagging like my fucking 10 times. Watch on me, man, I feel like Batman. I'm gonna talk, so let's go back for Batman. Say we need bitch, brody, thinking me. Say we need bitch, brody, thinking me, Batman. Talk to me, I swear you ain't met your cat, man. Auntie is stuff, she gave me a lap dance. 2 plays, he feeling like Max, man. We made a run up, he turned into flash, man. But if he get too close, he turn into ash, man. Yeah.
Hello everyone, in this tutorial, I'll be showing how
produced by Nympho. Produced by Nympho. Produced by Nympho. Produced by Nympho. Produced by Nympho.
Isn't it strange how you and I spend the best part of our time just together?
Die, you son of a bitch.
It's a Stradivarius. It's a Stradivarius.
We're out on the beat.
walls, it will slide across it. But before we get started, I just want to ask if you can go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video to help YouTube push this to any aspiring game developers who are trying to learn to make their own Godot games and need pathfinding for those. Godot 4 makes this pathfinding super easy, so let's just get started and let's create this pathfinding here in Godot 4. Okay, so to create pathfinding in Godot, so what we have in this game already, we have a couple of starter items, which we have a camera 2D just so we can zoom in close. We have a player, which has some basic movement, and our player is just a sprite and a collision shape. And we have some very basic movement. So if you want to copy this down for your player, if you don't already have a player, but for pathfinding, you probably already have a player and you just need help on the pathfinding part. So we have a simple player, and then we have a tile map, which as of now, our tile map has no collisions or navigation 2D or anything. And we need to go and we need to add navigation 2D to this tile map, because that's going to be important to pathfinding for our pathfinding node that can help us, you know, move around. So let's think about this. We want collision shape on all of these darker squares, right? These are all collisions. So we're going to make this all with collision 2D, or with collisions. And then on this lighter gray, which these are their own tiles. I know they look like the background, but they're not. I'm actually going to add a color rect real quick just so we can kind of see the difference, so we can see it behind. As you can see, these are their own tiles. It's just like, if you see this right here, this is my tile set. It is a, it's almost the same color as the background, but it is its own tile. So if we go to our tile map, this is the first thing. We need to add navigation and we need to add collision. So to do this, we need to go to our tile map over here in the inspector, our physics layer. We're going to add a physics layer, and then we're going to go to our navigation layer and we're going to click add element, and we're going to add a navigation layer. Now if we open up our window down here and we click on tile set, we can go to, you know, whatever tile set you have. For me, it's just 2 tiles in here, but we can go to paint, dark, you just, it will show in just a minute when we have our enemy created. Okay, so now for our enemy, so we can have our pathfinding here in the game, we actually currently have 0 enemies. So we're going to create a new scene. We're going to do other node. We're going to do a character body 2D. We can name this as our enemy, and then we're going to just keep a basic enemy just like our player, a sprite 2D. We're also going to have a collision shape, and we're also going to need some other stuff which we'll add here in just a second. Let's just make our enemy. So we'll have this, and then let's make it very small. So I'm going to scale it to like 0.1. That's the size of my player. And then we can go to our visibility, modulate, and then we can change this to like red. A simple red color just like so. So our enemy is red. And then for our collision shape, we can make a circle and we can make this pretty small, right? And then on our enemy up here, you see our player is classified as a grounded. That's the motion mode on our player. But our enemy is going to have to move along the side of the walls. Because if you don't do this, it's going to get stuck on the wall because it's going to have to be grounded. That's the motion mode on our player. But our enemy is going to have to be different because it's going to have to be able to move along the side of the walls. Because if you don't do this, it's going to get stuck on the walls. It's going to try and pathfind around, but it's going to be stuck on the wall. It won't be able to move. So we need to go to a floating and we need to do wall minimum slide equal to 0 degrees. So we can just glide against the walls smoothly, right? And then on our enemy, we're also going to need some other stuff. We're going to need a navigation agent. This is what's going to do all the work in our navigation. So we'll use a navigation agent 2D. And then we're also going to need a timer node. So we're also going to need a timer node. And on this timer, I'm going to go and we're going to set this to an auto start. And then on our navigation agent, this is going to be like so on the debug, if you want to see the line, you're going to turn this enabled on. We'll leave it on just for testing, and then we can turn it off at the end to see how it looks after. But if we save this, and then we're going to obviously need a script, so we'll create our enemy.gd script. Now a bunch of stuff is going to spawn, or is going to also, I'm going to go over one more thing. So in here, I'm going to delete it all because we don't really need it. And also, I'm going to go over one more thing. So just
Stradivarius. It's a Stradivarius.
Ayo, mercy.
For this video, just for the sake of this video, if we go to our collision, we're going on our enemy. So this is the character 2D. We're going to have to set the layer to 2 and the mask to 1 and 2, and then we're going to go to our player and we're going to set the layer to 2 and the mask to 1 and 2 as well. So the 2 is going to be the enemy and the player, and then the 1 is going to be our tile set. So if we save, now we have our script. I'm also going to go to our timer node and we're going to set the timeout to our enemy function, and we'll save that for a little bit later. But what do we need in a player to make a player? First of all, we need our speed, right? So we'll do speed equals to like 20, whatever, you know. The speed obviously depends on however your game is set up. We're also going to create an var, or a variable for our player, and we're going to have this as an export var, and this is going to have to be our player. It's going to be name player, and it has to be a node 2D, right? So now, or it doesn't have to be a node 2D, but that's how you do it, right? So then we export. So then we're going to have another export var, and this is going to be called our navigation agent. And in our navigation agent, we're going to have this equal to our, you know, on our scene tree, we're going to have to get our navigation agent 2D, which is over here in our scene. And then we can have this as navigation agent 2D, right? So now after those are all the variables we're going to need. Now it says something's messed up, which won't return nodes in the scene tree. Okay, yeah, this is my bad. I put an export. This has to be an on ready. Yeah, so this has to be an on ready var. Boom. Okay, now error fixed. And then we're gonna have a couple functions, or it's gonna be like 2 functions. So first of all, we need our basic physics process function. Yeah, our basic physics process function. And then instead of this just being a delta, we need this to be a float as well, because our enemy is float. The movement of our enemy is going to be classified as a float, and then we can just send this to void. And then in this function, we're going to create a variable which is going to be our direction, and this is going to be, so whatever our direction is our direction is going to be based off of our navigation agent. So this navigation agent right here is going to do all the work. It's going to find out the best path to go. It's going to find out the best way to get to our player, but we're going to have to find which direction it's telling us to go. If it's telling us to go right, left, up, down, you know, where is it telling us to go? So we'll say to our local, so to local, and then we'll do our nav agent, which is our variable that we created up here. And then we'll say get next path position, so whatever position, which is an already made function in Godot for the navigation agent. And then we can just normalize this, right? And then we'll go, and then this is for all the movement. So we have velocity is going to equal the direction, which we just got, times our speed, which is the constant at the top of the path, right? Something how the best. We'll get our nav agent, and then, right, go to the inspector, and we click on in to instance. It's going to be our player, so we want to assign it to X. If we go to our world, and we are going to instance our enemy to our world scene, and then we can move him anywhere. But if we go to the inspector and we click on our enemy, you can see this is the exported variable that we have. We can assign this to anything. This is going to be our player, so we want to assign it to our player. So now we have a player, right? So this node right here, this is what it's tracking as our target. So if we go to our enemy back into the script, our player is now equal to the whatever we put into that var on the export, and then which we put in our player. And then on every single time the timer times out, we want to call our make path function, right? Because every single time this timer times out, which is going to time out every single 1 second, which we can go faster. We'll do like half a second. So it will make a new path every half a second. Things should go smooth, not as slow, and you can see everything does go as planned. So our enemy is a little bit slow, but as you can see, the path that is being created, the enemy will go the fastest way to reach our player. And you can kind of see how the path is super delayed. So first of all, I want to go and
We're on the beat.
I want to raise the speed of our player. And then I want to go to our timer node. We can go over here to our timer node and we can just like do 0.1. So now it's going to update 10 times a second, right? So now global position is equal to null. I don't know, did I just completely mess something up? I don't know what just happened, but okay, so I reloaded the game. I just X'd out of Godot, reloaded it, opened it back up, changed the wait time of the timer back to 1.1, kind of fixed up the code. I put this function, the ready function here. It's not, I mean, it's not technically necessary. I mean, that's just to call it just off the start. So as soon as the game starts, it's not necessary because the timer is going to go off 0.1 seconds after the game starts. But I just added that in there to make it look, because it's a ready function, right? So you call it as soon as the game starts. And then we have everything else in this entire script is the exact same. Player script, everything is the same. Everything in the entire game is the exact same. So if we play it, you see it works, and you can see how fast the thing updates, right? How fast the path updates. It updates 10 times a second. It's gonna find the fastest way to get to our player, right? So this is pathfinding in Godot. As you can see, as soon as we get here, as soon as we go up, then it's gonna start going up. Now it's gonna start going down, right? Whatever the fastest possible way to get to us is, that's the way the enemy is going to take. And as you can see, if we try to go like this way to I mean, we can just have the enemy chasing the player, but there is no path, and it looks up this each and drop inspiring of peace. Happy to now any Godot game that help you out. To make an RPG. So in the layer 2, right? They are not on layer 2, so it's going to be this clear, and behind that to our enemy, and then we can all look. So we have speed, like everybody just entered the zone, right? And then since our player just entered the zone, we'll say player shake, right? Then we need, because now statement we want our, because right, so whatever our speed is, we'll divide it by one. Technically that's it, right? Minute. So technically, as you can see, it does chase our player. Let's actually separate them because they spawned like on top of each other. So, and collision shape does, but very, very quick. We have divided by, right? So the higher the speed, the slower the enemy is, if that makes sense. It's kind of opposite because we're dividing, because we divide the positions, right? So if we go to our world, you can see now our enemy is much slower than it was before. Just go to enemy, and we can make this like a so if we're chasing, basically, so play. So now if we walk, wind being still a little quick. So to fix that, we'll just animate it sprite, and we'll make this a little bit. You can see that it plays our jumping animation. Okay, we still 44 in idle animation, and when we're in chase, we're playing a walk animation. But you can see the player's facing this stat. Let's go to our enemy. X is like greater than 0. So we can see position. If the position.x facing that way, but it's coming this way, which is not good. So to fix that, right? So that is, let's flip it. So you're seeing x back and flipping does y. Enemy going over. If you're a beginner, if you're just starting out, it's gonna be pretty. Thanks for this year for all that. But stay safe and have a wonderful rest of your day.
What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be be going over how to make end up chasing me until I leave the aggro range, as you can see, and now they will return back to where they started, which is defined as their like home position. And the first thing on the right is on the first layer tool. Get from there. That's all. And then inside of here we need a gate, and I'm going to walk you through how the code position. This will connect some basic